Thanks, Bob. I was just thinking about the honor flight trip 2 weeks ago and the events that occurred since that flight. Apart from an unexpected landing in Islip, Long Island on the way to Washington, the trip went flawlessly. We had the great honor of meeting Senator Bob Dole, who waited for our veterans outside the World War II Memorial. It was a moving experience. However, while the trip was in progress, the Secretary for Honor Flight, Pauline Stone, decided to send a scathing email to Honor Flight Director Danny Kafitz. Stone had insisted that local TV news anchor George Mallet be the keynote speaker during the send-off ceremony. It was agreed at an earlier board meeting that Mallet would speak at the Oval, but he wasn't to be the keynote speaker. Congressman Bill Owens, Assemblywoman Janet Dupre, Essex County Sheriff Richard Cutting all spoke at the airport. Stone was angry enough to attack Kafitz, this radio station, and me. Well, you can attack me, but when you come after this radio station after all that's been done to help promote Honor Flight, that's a different story. Stone said the only way Channel 5 would cover the story was if George Mallet got to speak. Well, he did get to speak, but did WPTZ cover the story? No. In fact, Fox 44 was there and did an excellent job. They're covering more Clinton County news than Channel 5. So the fascination or the infatuation or whatever you want to call it with Mallet is a mystery to me. Keynote speaker? Why? George King, a retired colonel and second-in-command in Honor Flight, was supposed to take over this week after Danny Kafitz resigned. But at the meeting on Wednesday night, King said he did not have the time to devote to the effort and that he would delegate duties to others, typical colonel. He also announced that there would be only one plane in June and not two as previously planned, and that about 16 veterans are now not going to be going to Washington. He delegated committee members to call the vets with the disappointing news. Why? This same George King voiced his opinion that having politicians at the send-off events was, quote, BS. Janet Dupre has been at all the send-offs except one. I invited Congressman Owens and Mayor Callan to speak. Maybe Mr. King should have been at the memorial to tell Senator Dole that he too was BS by greeting 16 heroes from the North Country. This same George King said it was unnecessary for the Saranac School's Freedom Club to meet the vets in Washington 2 years in a row and cheer them on. At the meeting on Wednesday, the several dozen World War II vets who attended were not allowed to speak. Wait a minute, isn't that what they fought for 70 years ago? Anyone see any irony here? So the future for North Country Honor Flight does not look too bright. Was Danny Kafitz a bit rough around the edges? Maybe, but look at the accomplishments. 5 flights last year, the very first year the organization existed, 7 planned for this year, and he's a Marine Corps veteran. Without someone at the helm to take care of the hundreds of details involved in just one flight, well, it doesn't look good. So thanks to Pauline Stone and George King. The committee's falling apart, the World War II veterans very upset, and future trips are in jeopardy. Nice job.
The opinions expressed on I Was Just Thinking do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the management of Hometown Radio, WIRY, or any of its sponsors. Listen again next week for I Was Just Thinking.
And